What's this? Should I do director's commentary? Yeah, why not? Let's hear what they have to say. Nobody ever listens to them anyway.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Pinchbeck, I'm the creative director of the Chinese Room, and this is the Dear Esther developers commentary.
Hi, I'm Rob Briscoe, I'm the artist on Dear Esther.
And I'm Jessica Curry, and I was the composer on the game.
So what you're looking at today is a remake of a mod. Dear Esther started off in 2007 as a Half-Life 2 mod that did really, really well in the modding community, which was fantastic, and as a result of that attracted the attention of Rob, who worked as the primary developer on a Source remake of the game that was released in 2012. And this year is another remake where it's been updated for a cross-platform release, and we wanted to add in this developers commentary just to give you a bit more of an insight into some of the ideas behind the game.
Damn, somebody blew that thing up.
So you'll see around you in a lot of the environments, there's a lot of detail ingrained into everything. One of the things that I wanted to do with Dear Esther is bring the visuals up to the same kind of level of detail that Dan and Jess had put into the other areas of the game. So all of the history and the kind of hidden pieces of story that are intertwined with the VOs and the music and stuff, I kind of wanted to bring some of that into the environments. So if you look around you, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces, a piece of paper with someone's name on it, a photograph, an ultrasound. All of these little bits and pieces are kind of laid in to just kind of bring another aspect of the story into the game. And also, they're actually randomized, so every time you play, you'll see something different lying around.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And this is just to build on this idea that everybody has a unique experience and a unique interpretation of the story.
I like that concept. The detail is really good on this. It's like glow-in-the-dark paint or something. Can you roll? No, that's not running, that's zooming. It's still zooming. I don't think you can run. Just zoom. Woo. Let's go this way. This is really pretty. It's kind of relaxing too.
Part of the point about the whole game, I think, was this idea that rather than having a linear, straight-through version of the story, that we could have multiple story units for each place you were, and I was really interested in this idea of how you can open up that space that people can interpret. So I loved the idea that you could have two people that had played this game and then would have a conversation about it, and one of them would say, oh, what did you think about when this happened? And the other person would be like, well, that didn't happen for me. I had a completely different event happen or a completely different story happen.
Huh.
And it kind of feels very gamey in that way, that actually one of the things I love about writing for games is that you hand over so much control to the player that it becomes their story, and that's really, really important rather than trying to force them. So using randomised blocks of voiceover in the game and the kind of randomised prop details that Rob was talking about means that it gives it a really different feeling every time you go through. And that's kind of interesting for me, because I like the idea of going...
Can it go in the water?
Not everyone has to have the same experience, and because it's interactive, you have the capacity to have very different experiences occupying the same space. So yeah, but balancing all that then becomes an absolute nightmare.
I think it's nice though, because everybody gets a personal experience. Like, I love reading the forums and seeing how people come and they sort of tell their story and what they interpreted of it, and then you see other people discussing what they thought of it.
When I wrote the music for the mod of Dear Esther, there was absolutely no budget whatsoever for live players, so all the music was sampled. But one of the good things about that is it actually forced me to be quite creative about how I wrote the music. So with my background in sound art, I wanted to use samples in a different way that wasn't just using it to sound like a violin. I wanted to
Everything about Esther
Oh,
for
so you
me
just walk through them,
is
you don't
a
have to
dream.
click on them from the top.
The landscape is not an island, it's the dream of an island. The music is like music that you wake up because you've heard in your sleep, but you're not conscious of hearing it. And the language in the story was supposed to be like that as well. It didn't matter the sense it made, it was more about the kind of the shapes it created, if that makes sense. So that the words would kind of were like being in water.
The sky's a
listening
bit
to something
pixelated.
underwater, it'd be this very dreamlike,
I'm wondering if
symbolic,
we're having some sort of issue
poetic
buffering
thing.
or
And
something.
it always
Everything else looks
frustrated
oh my
me
God.
in games with game writing. This has really
The
changed
detail
quite a
to
lot.
the
There's never
wind,
any space
the
for
breeze.
poetic language. It's very exposition-y, very descriptive. So people have asked why the Dear Esther's set on a Hebridean.
Let's see if I can get rid of. You know what? We're gonna go back. We're gonna exit. We're gonna do it without the freaking. We're doing it without that.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
That still looks like a sheet of music. Maybe the certificate of approval? Appraisal? What is that? Approval. Maybe that's not on the beginning of the other one. See if it triggers anything. God, it's so pretty. Don't want to fall down there.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
So I wonder if I have to look for that paint. Those paint cans might tell me something. That's as far as I can go here, huh? Can I walk over this? Haha, okay, guess not. Let's go back this way to see if that... let's see, are there achievements on this game? There are. Walk 5,000 steps. Oh, okay. So one of the achievements is for all the voiceover. So I'm gonna go over here just to see if that triggers another one. I doubt it. My only real complaint about this game so far is you can't run or move faster. It kind of looks like parts of New England.
At night, you can see the lights sometimes from a passing tanker or trawler. From up on the cliffs, they are mundane. But down here, they fugue into ambiguity. For instance, I cannot readily tell if they belong above or below the waves. The distinction now seems banal. Why not everything and all at once? There's nothing better to do here than indulge in contradictions whilst waiting for the fabric of life to unravel.
I wonder what this is supposed to be. Dude's voice reminds me of one of the characters of What We Do in the Shadows.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Oh, I just saw the chat. My mom heard me swear. I'm in trouble. I should probably put that up. Sorry, Mom. That up so I know when I get yelled at by my mom. Let's see. Can I go through this? I don't think I can go up there. Sorry for swearing. You gotta give me a heads up when Mom's freaking on here. Caitlin. Sister set me up again. So this is just a car door back there. I saw earlier I can't go in the water. Because this will happen. Doesn't really do a good job of explaining what direction I go to or anything. That's fair. That's fair. You got me on that one, Caitlin. Oh, okay, so you can... It looks like you can die on this, which is strange. I got an achievement. Drowned once. Oh boy. Don't really know what's going on with this. 1 second, my computer's acting strange. Let's see if that does it. Mom, if you can hear me, Caitlin's being mean. Beat her up. I don't think there's a map either, is there? Nope. So there's no map. I go down here. And I only see a car door. I went through the cave on the top. That didn't lead to anywhere. Am I missing? Is this like a cave entrance? No. You're so kind, Caitlin. Trying to get me in trouble for no reason. Other than the fact that I'm the favorite child now. I wonder... There's gotta be some sort of other direction I can go. I think this might be on the Switch, Caitlin. I'm not 100% sure. Ooh, shots fired. How's my mic sound? I got a new headset, so I don't know if it sounds better or worse. Or the same. Let's see. Is there a lighthouse over there that I see? I think I was already up here, I believe. Was that blood? Maybe I missed another pathway.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight, he landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
Yo, I think that is blood. Is this game gonna turn into like a murder mystery? Wow. Thanks, Mom.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until Whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts.
Huh.
My lines are just for this. To keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
What is this? Tombstones? Are they tombstones? These plants look like stuff you would
They
have,
were
Caitlin.
God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
This dude's voice is super comforting. I want him to read my eulogy when I die.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Huh. I'm gonna go into the cave.
This hermit,
prefer
this
cactus.
seer, this distant historian of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why,
Cacti.
asked the farmers. Why, asked Jacobson. Why
Oh, wow.
bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
Okay, alright. Wonder what that's supposed to be. Looks like I can only really walk around in here. There's the place I found earlier. Oh, you know what? Never mind. It kind of does remind me a little bit of Lemony Snicket's, Caitlin. You're right. I said earlier, I don't know if you heard me, but it reminds his voice reminds me of the guy from What We Do in the Shadows. If you haven't watched that show, you should definitely check it out. I like this little river. Alright. I'll text that to you once I'm done with this. I'm gonna beat this game. I'll be on streaming later with my buddy, but
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
let's go this way real quick. See what's over here. Probably nothing. that's where the car door was. Yeah, I like games kind of like this where you kind of just like wander around and look, and they tell you a story. And I just love how beautiful the graphics are, like just the swaying of the grass and everything. It's super cool. There's a couple of games I can text you that are kind of like this, if it's something you want, and I'm pretty sure most, if not all of them, are on your Switch. I love the sound of the wind blowing in my ear right now with these headphones. Should I stay or should I go now? Let's see. Let's go. Uh-oh, did I do something wrong?
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Yeah, most of the games I'm going to send you, I don't think this has any combat or anything. I don't even think, well, I mean, I drowned, so you can die, but I don't think it's like, I don't think there are games that really take a whole bunch of skill. It's more of this, just the story. There's a couple I want to play. I'll go down there. I can't tell if that like goes around the, I'll go down there first. Something tells me that. I'm gonna go with my gut and go this way. What's that?
I've begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
This island's abandoned. Why is that still blinking? Won't the like electricity and everything be off over here? So it looks like that's another path. What's down here? Ooh, what's this?
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Whoa, what's this say? Nor drink, eat, nor drink. Something neither did he eat nor drink. And neither did he eat nor drink. I think that's more blood. Whoever's been bleeding in this game, you would think they would have bled to death by now.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Should I have gone down that path instead of this one? Perhaps. Ooh, look at that house. Check it out. You can move in that one with your husband, and Julie and I live on top of the hill. And there's plenty of space. We can build houses for the whole family over here, Caitlin. What do you think? See if there's anything over here.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar on the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Can I jump? Let's do it.
Come back.
Okay. Ooh, that was an achievement. Stack and Armin. Die from falling off a cliff once. Okay.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
I want to go on top of that cliff, but it doesn't look like it will let me. I think it's all fenced off. Yeah, it's all fenced off. I like this music.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. he was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
More of this. It's another paint bucket. What's in the house?
My heart is landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
Looks like it can go this way now. More blood. But do I want to go down there? I kind of want to go up that mountainside. See if I can. I think I'm gonna be able to climb up this. I think that's a tombstone. It's a lot of litter. Maybe I can't go up there. It doesn't seem to want to let me. Daggone. Guess not. There was an attempt. Okay. I saw something glowing over there, or like a light. I see a lot of things made with wood, but I don't think I've seen any trees yet.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Huh. So I wonder if the island's full of people that are born with deformities or something.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
Yeah, he said there was no one to carve white lines. In the beginning of the game, he talked about, I don't know if you can see it over here. There's white lines carved in the mountainside, and they talked about how when people died on the island, they would carve the white lines on the mountainside. So I guess when that guy died, everybody was already dead, so nobody could carve them for him.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the Bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
So am I playing a ghost? Is there anything over here worth seeing? Suitcase. Clothes. It's so weird because there's so much detail in all clouds. Oh wow, this is a pretty cave. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking the blood was mine, and I'm like, I'm dead and re-walking the footsteps of them. Uh-huh. And there we go.
From here,
supposedly,
this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. I can hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Yeah, supposedly you can play this a couple of times and get like different stories and stuff, so. This is really pretty. You can have the hill, Caitlin. I'm gonna live down here. Bioluminescence going on down here.
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
I wonder where all these drawings are supposed to be. Go up here real quick, see if there's anything good. Oh wow. Shadows like in your childhood, yeah. You cast big shadows. Somebody's gotta be down here. There's a bunch of candles. Was I supposed to jump down that thing into the water? Interesting. More blood. Dude. Must need to jump down into that. It's the only thing I can think of. This is so pretty. Holy cow. Yeah, I think that's my only other option here. Watch me be wrong and die. Here goes nothing. Oh, no. You know, if there's one thing I learned growing up, it was not to go chasing waterfalls. I'm gonna stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. Fairly certain I shouldn't jump down that one. Wow. It's still in there. Oh, look at all these little mushrooms. Oh, wow.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the Ariel shining to me through the rocks.
Oh yeah, this dude's dead. Looks like that takes me somewhere. Let's see what's down here too. I love it when a game makes you want to go check everything out. What's down here? There's a lot of crystal meth. Can't go up that. It's another one of those weird signs. What's this? I'm moving faster. Paper boats. A lot of them. Weird. Wonder what that's about. Alright, so came out of there, so I gotta cross back over here. Whoa. Let's see if I can get one to land on my face. Close. Come on. Guess not. Okay. Yeah, Pennywise. I think he might live here. Another drawing. Whoa. Yeah, I can't go up there. This is trippy. More drawings.
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
How do I get out? Okay. Strange. The new origin story? Yeah. Oh, here's some more writing. Behind Damascus. Oh, behold, Damascus is taken. Whoa. Somebody was on some Ritalin. Look at this. Golly. Holy crap. Whatever that formula's for. Man. Away from being what? Away from being a kitty? Q-I-T-Y? Away from being... I don't know what that says. That's weird. Away from being something. What's this one? And it's kind of hard to read this, man. Digging all the little mushrooms, and it's got a pretty chill feeling in here. I wonder if I'm gonna have to jump off another ledge. Okay. Underwater we go. Whoa. Oh, that might be something I gotta jump down. Is that like a person holding something? Yo. Please tell me you guys saw that. That's not. That must be the light that I keep saying. I wonder if that's death. Whoa. Okay. A whole city underwater. What's this all about? Can I swim up? Nope. Weird. I don't understand why sometimes he walks kind of fast and then he gets super slow. Come on. Guess this is another chapter. Maybe not. Oh, yep. It's another chapter.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
What's this over here? Maybe I'm not supposed supposed to go out here? Guess not. See, those are the white lines, Caitlin, when people died. Is that the guy with the light again up there? Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see him now. Weird.
We shall begin to
Thought there was
assemble our
nobody
own
on this
version of
island.
the North Shore. We will scrawl in dead languages and electrical diagrams and hide them away for future theologians to muse and mumble over. We will send a letter to Esther Donnelly and demand her answer. We will mix the paint with ashes and tarmac and the glow from our infections. We will paint a moon over the Sanford Junction and blue lights falling like stars along the hard shoulder.
Huh. Wonder how many chapters are in this game. It's a whole heck of a lot of freaking candles, man.
There were chemical stains on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been traveling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Light from heaven, something around me. I think it's what it just said.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
So that's why there were all those boats in the cave. Okay. What's this over here? Whoa. On a sudden, light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Okay, let's go up this. Yeah, see? You can see the lines better now. Very interesting. I wonder if I'm gonna finally catch up to that dude with the light. I think I see him right there.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
see? Don't go anywhere, homie. My luck, he won't be there when I get around this freaking bend.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fibre, the packed vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Guy's gone already. And something, he was proceeding on his journey. And as he was proceeding on his journey. Okay. Here we go. Here's some more. And as he was proceeding on his journey, come here. Man. He had come here or something. And jeez.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
What's over here?
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
So wait, did he crash a car here? Okay. Says I just took 5,000 steps. That was an achievement. Okay. Snow.
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. his paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
I think this is snow.
Run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Got all the voice
Dear
points.
Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There
Is
will
that
be
the
another
game?
to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
That's the whole game? Whoa, what? Did homie just kill himself? Wait, did he turn into a seagull? Is that what the shadow shows? Yeah, turned into a seagull.
Come back.
Huh. So the game's roughly about an hour in total, it looks like. Yeah. It's pretty good for an hour. That's a pretty good game. Pretty good story. Let's see what achievements. 200. Paul. Finish chapter The Beacon. that the only achievement left? I guess so. Alright, let's see if there's anything after the credits. I doubt it. Tale of Tales. While this is doing its thing, I'm curious. Who voiced this? Let's see who did the voice. Yeah, I guess it's only. I mean, the game, I got it on sale. It's normally $10. I got it on sale for I think like $4. But it's pretty. I'd buy it again. Dear Esther voice. Nah, it's not the same guy. Nigel Carrington. Huh. Okay, yeah, that's it. It's cool. I'll be on a little bit later to stream with a friend, so thanks for watching. Follow and subscribe. That was actually a really good game. Might have to play it again.